Last time on Knights of the Rolled Table, the team found themselves transported 1,000 years into the past, where they pledged their help to a young elf named Oliver. Oliver's lost love seemed to have been taken by an evil necromancer in much the same way that the team had lost Raven. They battled past undead horrors to the heart of a rotting forest where they encountered Tiburon, suspended in a moonbeam, surrounded by the familiar dead fog, and guarded by a rotting undead bear. Join our team in mid-fight against the dangerous foe, where Tiburon must make a Constitution saving throw. It's fine, he rolls well. Sorry, spoiler.
Yeah, how about a 21, baby?
Sounds good. Nothing worse than the 31 damage happens. That's nice.
Tiburon kind of hugs himself.
I will go back and sort out that season 3 at some point, but I'm relatively, let's say you have a +1 longsword that you're wielding, that you can only wield one-handed. We'll limit it there. You can't do the two-handed where it does a little bit more. But a +1 large sword that's magical, that is your on-handed weapon you're able to use.
Got it.
All right, so Tiburon got some real good hits on this thing, and then he got real good hit back. And next up is Bear. So first off, you see it heave a little bit, sort of like take in some of the fog around it, kind of like moves into it, and some of its wounds, especially the fresh ones, seem to like close up a little bit.
Gross.
With some of this fog kind of like feeding into its flesh a fair bit. It lets out a supernatural roar. It's directly towards Tiburon, but this effect hits Saeleas and Randall behind Tiburon. Oh, good news. It is a wisdom saving throw. Hey. Everybody go ahead and make that. So that's with advantage because of the motivational speech.
Good news. It might not kill you as much.
28.
I don't think it affected you, sir.
It definitely doesn't. Either way.
Nat 20 for Tiburon.
Oh, dang. 22 for Randall. What's Saeleas have?
10.
Oh, not good. Saeleas, you are immediately and understandably, given everything you have just watched, and like you're emotionally all over the place because this tambourine thing like really seems like it's gonna impact the greater Saeleas story in one way or another. But you are frightened. It says an incapacitated creature can repeat the saving throw. A bear! Yeah. You are feeling extremely frightened. On a failure, a creature is incapacitated for 1 minute. On a success. Oh, okay. Now I fully read. So you, Saeleas, are incapacitated. Randall and Tiburon, you are frightened. So that'll affect you on your turn. You'll be able to make a save against it. Frightened people want to run away. Saeleas is not frightened. He is like, well, you probably are frightened, but so frightened that you cannot move.
Okay.
And that will bring us back to Saeleas. So this is the turn that will burn, but you can repeat that saving throw.
Still at advantage?
Yes.
That's worse.
Oh, no.
7 time.
At advantage, you had 4 rolls in a row below 10. Ouch. Mm-hmm. All right.
My wisdom is +0. So I have no... 10 is the highest I've rolled out of those.
Fitting. All right. So he is still incapacitated. That takes us to Randall. Randall, you are frightened. So you need to spend this turn, I believe, running away from this adversary, which you are frightened from.
I think you just can't move closer.
Yeah, that's true. We better look up frightened. Seems important.
Disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight.
There you go.
And the creature can't willingly move closer to the source of its fear.
All right. Randall, that's where you're at.
All right. Randall's going to go, oh no, big bear, and kind of run away. But before he gets too far, he's going to go into his bag of trash. He's going to take out like a little thumbtack, and he's got a little vial, and he's going to dip it in, and he's going to kind of wrap it onto the end of something, put it in a little blow dart, and he's going to shoot it at Tiburon so that it stabs him in the back, and you're going to kind of feel a little rush of adrenaline, and you're actually going to be hasted.
Mm.
Nice, frightened and hasted.
I'm scared and I'm crazy.
Not what I thought was going to happen with the blow dart. Tiburon, you are very distracted by the bear, and you feel a sharp stab in the back, which weirdly then makes you feel pretty good. Pretty amped up. Still afraid. Still very frightened. Randall, you can, as you complete that and as you successfully deliver that dart, do you have anything else you want to do on your turn?
Nope, that's it.
All right. So you feel at the end of all that action, you feel the fear subside. Like, you got this. You can figure it out.
I'm
And
back
that
in
moves
it.
us to Sarsa.
How far away am I from the pit?
You are 15 feet from the pit. You also notice Tiburon drop in a similar way to Oliver. So you're kind of sizing up. That was kind of equal distant from the beam that Keelani is in. So it's possible that there's a moat all the way around this thing. You don't know for sure, but you definitely are cautious to step forward. So 15 feet from the beam and maybe 20, 25 feet from the action happening on the other side of the beam.
Am I able to get to the edge of where I saw them fall down? Do I see an opening in the ground or anything?
You can't see through the fog. Do you want to walk to where Oliver dropped, or you just want to kind of walk forward and kind of feel in front of you?
How far apart is where Oliver dropped and where Carlos fell?
They're on opposite sides of the chamber. So you're pretty far from Carlos. You're very close to where Oliver went down, and he just kind of emerged on the other side of his hole.
All right.
So if you want to roll investigation to kind of size up, trying to figure out if there's anything in front of you or where this might be, basically by feeling with your feet or a stick or something, you can do that.
I'm gonna walk towards them, and I'm gonna cast Gust of Wind in front of me.
Okay.
To try and dispel the fog so I can see where I'm going.
Okay, that's the cantrip gust? Or is that more of a spell?
It's a second level spell.
That keeps
So
up.
it basically, it's it is some wind. It is 60 feet long and 10 feet wide, blast from me in a direction I choose for the spell's duration.
Yeah, so you pull that up and you pull up your gust, and it has the same effect that it had in the previous fight, which is it moves all of the fog away where you're pointing it, but as soon as you move it away, the fog fills in where the gust of wind isn't. So you blast that out in front of you, and you're able to see that there is indeed a moat, basically a moat that Oliver fell in, that as wherever you're able to move the gust, you see it continue around. It might be full 360 degrees. As the gust passes over the moonbeam, it doesn't seem to have affected it very much. And what do you want to do with it? Where do you kind of want it to end up? Do you want to move people with it?
Well, am I able to see where Oliver fell through the floor? Can I see him at all?
Yeah. So you've noticed him kind of pop back up a little bit beyond his knees. So you're able to move the gust towards him. What's the effect of the gust? Would he have to make a save if you pointed it at him?
Each creature that starts its turn in the line must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet away from me in a direction following the line. Any creature in the line must spend 2 feet of movement for every 1 foot it moves when moving closer to you.
Okay, so you could use gust vision to see what happened to Oliver at a little bit of risk of hitting Oliver and sending him flying 15 feet back. So do you want to risk that? Have him make a save or...
How wide is the moat? Am I able to tell?
Yeah, definitely. It is about that wide. It's about 5 or 6 feet wide. You probably could jump it. Slightly risky, but
and
yeah.
I'm screw this. I'm gonna head towards Moonbeam Chick.
Okay, so gust of wind up. You kind of check things out and roll athletics to leap over it.
24.
Damn, some good rolls for Sarsa tonight. Yeah, easily and elegantly you
I'm a plus
leap.
8 for athletics.
Nice.
She works out.
Leap over this moat, land deftly on the other side where you're near where Oliver is. And you have room to move up and check out the beam in front of you, which is not solid. It seems like it's energy. You can kind of reach into it a little bit, and it feels very cold in there. And actually, being Sarsa, being a cleric, it's not really temperature cold. It's kind of like death cold. It's more like undead, necrotic kind of feeling than it is temperature cold in there.
And how far from the edge of that moonbeam, like how far in is she? Is it like 3 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet?
You could reach in and touch her if you wanted. You could jump right in there if you wanted.
Sarsa's no fool. She's been keeping her 6-inch black claw that she got from her tower adventure with Daddy Dark Harbor. Go back.
Okay.
Listen, it's the thing from that one. And
Good stuff.
she's going to fish that out of her breastplate and throw it into the light. And it's a claw, so it's got some tissue on it. She wants to see how it reacts.
Interesting. So you toss that into there, and it kind of like moves at the speed you would think it would until it gets in the center, and then it kind of like stops and sort of like starts to float, similar to what she is doing. It doesn't look like the flesh deteriorates or anything. It looks like it's just in there.
Okay.
Like there's some kind of anti-gravity check. You didn't like perceive that there was something especially damaging that would have happened to the claw if it were alive.
I have another thing I'd like to do, but I'm not sure if that's too much action.
Probably too much action, but that was mostly kind of investigating and sizing up. So if you want to give me a specific place to land your gust of wind on, like if you want to try to hit somebody, to move somebody with it, you could.
She's gonna position, like, so she's facing Kesha, Kehlani. She's gonna face her and put the air out behind her so that if anybody from like the fight or whatever, like, not only will it kind of give her a little protection on her backside, but also anybody that's facing in hopefully will get a clear view. Like if they wanted to try and see where the moat is, like it would give them like, hey, this is the path.
Yes. Well, so out of that, what we'll take is like you position the gust of wind so that it kind of shows the rest of you, gives the rest of you a pretty good idea of the same thing Sarsa was able to size up, which is like, there's a moat here. It's probably all the way around and it's jumpable if you know exactly where it is. So a lot was done there, and it takes us to Oliver's turn.
Okay, I'll use my movement to get up to the beam.
Yeah.
If I get a sense this is bad mojo, probably not like seeing Sarsa not reach into it and she did a little test and this thing is floating or whatever. Oliver is also not, he knows that Zaxior is bad news. And so I think what I'm going to try, what's the diameter of the beam? Like how wide is the whole thing?
Probably 5 feet or so, about a space in D&D terms.
What I'd like to do is take my pike and kind of move it into the beam so it goes through it, kind of behind where, like around Kehlani's waist. And I want to yell to Sarsa and I'll say, grab the other side and help me pull her out. So I'm going to try to like push it through and kind of, the two of us, I'll hold my action to like pull her with Sarsa's help, hopefully, to pull her out using the pike, to kind of yank her out. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. So you want to kind of like use the pike to see if you can like nudge her out of the moonbeam.
Yeah. The pole end, the pole side of the pike.
Not the pointy end. Okay. And I think everybody kind of sees that. Well, maybe not. Saeleas, you're incapacitated, but you probably have time to look around, so you might notice that. I would say Tiburon does not notice that, being hasted in front of a cave bear while you're frightened, but everybody else kind of like notices, at least on the periphery, Oliver trying to do that in case it plays into your turn. Let's take us to Tiburon, frightened, but also hasted, bear right in front of you. Can't actually move towards it.
But I'm still at striking distance, right?
Yeah. So you definitely can. It's a disadvantage with attacks, but also there's a bunch of attacks, and you move really fast, and you have advantage on dex checks, whatever haste does. There's a lot of things in play. We'll take it one thing at a time. What do you got?
And Oliver just kind of yelled out, like, someone help me push her through.
I don't know if I can. I will be ready when that time comes, but I think I have to wait 2 minutes.
Sarsa seems on it. Tiburon.
So since I get
Literally
two actions, I'm gonna go for two attacks here. And with each attack, just letting out a terrified yell, as I'm like there.
So your first action gives you your full 3 attacks, but they're all at disadvantage.
Okay, one is 16. The next one is 20. The next one is 14.
Those will all hit.
Nice.
Yeah.
And 15, 19, 18.
Fighter doing his stuff. All right.
Chonky slashes.
All right. Tiburon, despite being frightened, his normal style is a little bit altered, but like still lands every single one of those blows and just tearing big old chunks out of this bear. And then what else do you want to do with this complicated turn? You have an extra haste action. You could take one attack.
Mhm.
You have your bonus action as well.
I'll definitely go for one more attack. Is a 13 gonna hit?
Yes.
All right.
Let's call that your offhand attack. So that'd be your bonus
Okay.
action. So that one hits 2.
All right. That one will be 8 damage.
So that one is because that is a non-magical weapon in your offhand. That time it doesn't cut through the same way your magical weapon does. It definitely like resists that a little bit. Seems like it has resistance to slashing, but you still do some damage there. And you've got your second haste action, which is 1 weapon attack or dash, disengage, hide, or use an object action.
I mean, there's really no place to hide here, is there?
I mean, there's the old Bavrax drop into the fog. There's a moat full of rats. There's options if you want to hide, but
Just dive into a moat full of rats.
Bye.
you could you couldn't hide while you're engaged. You could disengage if you didn't want to get messed up anymore by this bear, or you could just take one more attack.
Let's see. Considering I'm still frightened, I think I'll take the disengage action.
Okay.
We'll just say as a reaction to the offhand weapon not actually doing that much, that discourages Tiburon and makes him think like, oh no, and he disengages.
So you're able to disengage and stumble back a couple feet out of like swipe distance from the bear, which takes you like almost to the edge of the moat, and you're like stumbling forward from that. You're like just barely in safety range from these two kind of perilous objects. Brings us back to bear takes another swipe like reaction at Tiburon, but right as he like disengages, it misses. But that'll bring us to bear's turn. That baleful roar is one of those abilities that can be recharged if I roll the right number. It was not. Seems like a good thing.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to roll anything while frightened?
Oh, yeah. That just like happened to Randall at the end of that. As you get into this like very marginally safe spot, you feel the fear kind of melt away from you. You're back to your hasted self.
Okay. All right.
All right. So this bear next is going to look at Randall because he's nearby. Randall, make a Constitution saving throw.
That's what I'm good at.
Well, that's good. Possum.
25.
Nice. You will succeed. Is this a half damage thing? It is a half damage thing.
Oh, every time.
You are overtaken by necrotic energy. You're able to slough it off. You've got control of this somewhat a little bit.
He drinks brown water regularly.
Yeah. It's good that you're
That water
hydrated
keeps
because
you
you
strong.
feel a lot of moisture leaving your body.
Ugh. That's gross.
You're going to take 20 damage and you kind of like shrivel up and feel a lot of vitality seep out of like, it's not really one attack so much as like your energy kind of like drains out of every pore and it feels very miserable. And that was the spell Blight.
Oh.
Gross.
You just like
that'll
play
be-
dead like a possum does.
And this bear does the same sort of like drawing in a little bit more of the fog and healing up some of its wounds, but was pretty messed up repeatedly by Tiburon, so it's still looking a lot more haggard than it started out as. And that will take us back to Saeleas. Roll a con save, Saeleas, and make it a much better one.
Con or wisdom?
Whatever it was before.
So, good news, bad news. Bad news, I'm dumb. Good news, I have elven accuracy, which lets me, if I have advantage on wisdom rolls, re-roll one of the dice. So I probably could have gotten out of this.
Should have been doing that, yes.
Yep. But I just now remembered that I had it because it's been a long time since I played Saeleas.
So let me give you this. Roll your 3 rolls or whatever there, and if you're successful, I'll give you this turn as opposed to skip it.
Yeah, I think Saeleas was given that in season 2.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Okay, that's a little bit better.
This is why you
19.
always make notes on your character sheet. That will do it. You are unincapacitated, and
It's on
you
my
may
character
take
sheet,
your
which is-
regular turn.
It's just all the way at the bottom.
Down at
of
the
my-
bottom. Mm-hmm.
It's been a while.
Okay. So I can do something now. Cool. Saeleas is frightened still, but not incapacitated. I believe that goes
You
away.
are not, no longer, you're neither. You come out of
Oh,
it.
cool. I'm going to use... I want to make sure this does what I think it does.
Disintegrate bear.
Handy. Very appropriate.
Very circumstantial.
Kind of shakes off the incapacitation, and he takes his hands up to his head, and he goes, "Psychic Lance!" And
cool.
he unleashes a shimmering lance of psychic power from his forehead at a creature that he can see. It has to make an intelligence saving throw against 18.
Uh-oh.
Is it a smart zombie bear?
1 in 10 chance it'll do that. Nope, rolled a 2. It did not save that. What happens?
Cool.
Take that,
Give me a
Baloo. How many dice are
30
you
psychic
rolling?
damage.
Ooh.
30 psychic.
How many dice was that? What
7d6.
7d6.
And it's incapacitated until the start of my next turn.
Oh, dang. Okay,
yes.
that's going to be powerful. So, yeah, you just like tear into not its flesh, but its heart, if it has one, its psyche, its mind. It is just like emotionally blasted to pieces. Like it's questioning its very bare existence. It's stunned. It's frozen. It is now no longer reacting. Saeleas, this was his first. It was tambouring, then being incapacitated, and then landing that awesome spell. So that's Saeleas' set. Moving on to Randall.
Nice. Push it into the rats.
Push it into the rats. Well, I think it would probably be easier to move if it were a different size. So, Randall is going to reach into his bag, and he's going to pull out like a big net with a bunch of different ropes on it. He's going to throw it over the big thing, and he's going to kind of pull it, and it's going to squeeze a little bit, and he's going to attempt to reduce the size of the necro bear.
All right, what's that involve?
A Constitution saving throw.
All right.
DC is 16.
Incapacitated, it might fail automatically.
Yeah, it probably does.
Or at least have disadvantage.
I mean, maybe
Jeff,
not a
what's
con
artificer
save. I'll give it
subclass
disadvantage.
Turning it from Baloo to a Paddington.
It rolls a 10.
Fails. Therefore, it goes down one size. It is halved in all dimensions. Its weight is reduced by 1/8 of normal. It has disadvantage on strength checks and saving throws.
Shrinking it in half almost exactly drops it under the fog. So you see the whole thing go boop, and then you can't see it at all. So you don't know exactly how much, but it's
Was
in,
it
like,
considered
2 or 3
large
feet of fog.
before, so now it's medium?
Yes. Medium sized.
So it's kind of now our size.
Yes. But it's on all fours. And the fog's
okay.
pretty high. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Randall,
Haha.
Nice.
you have a bonus action or anything?
That's
You're
it.
good? All right. This is
Yeah, I'm
suddenly feeling a lot more manageable. It's Sarsa's turn.
Did we manage to pull? Because I'm going to pull the other side of the thing. Did we already get her out of the?
Nope. We're
Oliver's
waiting.
still waiting on that.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, so you're able to grab onto the other end of that pike and kind of like nudge her, see if she's movable. And she is. She kind of like drifts a little bit with it. You kind of like gently are able to pull her forward, and eventually as she kind of like exits the moonbeam, she is no longer floating, so she starts to kind of drop down.
I'll catch her.
As she sort of like just to the outside, Oliver drops his pike immediately catches her in his arms. She's kind of collapsed in your arms against you. She's not conscious. She doesn't react beyond that, but she feels very cold, unsettlingly cold.
You see, so now, I mean, if anybody's looking, you see that Keelani is a elven looking, but she kind of has this bluish and teal kind of skin, and her hair kind of has it's hair, but it also kind of looks like leafy tendrils and stuff. It's very like naturey and stuff like that. And in her outfit, there's elements of tree and bark and vines and things like that. So she's very Eladrin in nature.
Hippies. So she's unconscious, right?
Yes. Well, you don't know what she is. She's not responding right away.
Sarsa, please do something.
And I'm gonna touch her, and I'm gonna cast.
Is that your girlfriend? Can I touch her?
I'm just gonna go ahead and do Mass Healing Word as a 4th level spell.
Okay.
So it'll be everybody gets crummy roll. That'll be 6 points of healing for everybody.
Hey,
Within,
brings me up to full.
Nice.
Does she awaken?
Hello, Knights of the Roll Table, and thanks for listening. We appreciate you going on this journey with us. Theoretically, our release dates are Tuesday mornings, and I have not kept up with that at all recently. It's been rough to keep up on things. I enjoy doing the podcast a lot, but finding the time to edit and getting things out on a good quality scale is difficult. So at this point, I'm just resolved for if the podcast is released every other week at some point in the week. If you're, waiting with bated breath Tuesday mornings for the next Knights of the Rolled Table episode to come out, I'm sorry. So anyway, thanks for, as always, spreading the word, telling your friends. If you're talking about D&D podcasts you listen to, sharing what you like about ours. One thing you can always share is it's a clean podcast. So if people are listening, listening in the car with kids around or whatever, it's a podcast you can put on and not worry about what topics are going to come up or what language is going to be used. So it's a clean podcast, but not boring clean. You know what I mean? So anyway, hope you're doing well. Thanks for leaving ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts and anywhere else that will accept a rating and review. We always appreciate that. Helps spread the word, and hope you're doing well. So as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and make life an adventure. She does not. You don't see her react to that at all. Not that it didn't heal her, but it doesn't awaken her. Which actually is a little bit, well, you don't know. You don't know a lot. But that means she wasn't regularly unconscious, because that would have woken her up. So she could be dead, or she could be more magically sleeping. You're not sure what that means. That takes us to Oliver's turn. So we kind of did Oliver's turn there. So we did a little bit of Oliver's turn. You kind of caught her, so that's a piece of your turn. But if you want to add something to that, you can.
Yeah, I mean, can I just do a medicine check to see if she's alive?
Yeah. Roll medicine and Arcana. You have time.
Okay. Well, that's not good. 9 for medicine, and Arcana is a -1. So
you're kind
11.
of in a panicked / hopeful state. I think your medicine check is enough to feeling her. Her flesh has the softness of a living person, even though it's unsettlingly cold. You are certainly hopeful that she is alive. The Arcana, you're kind of swirling through everything you've learned and heard from people and rumors and research you've done about what the spell was and what might have happened to her, and trying to figure out what's going on. And so similarly, you have informed hope that this is a magical effect that you're dealing with, and you might be able to save her. You're feeling at least slightly more hopeful than discouraged in that moment, but neither check gives you too much information.
Do I still have movement?
Yeah.
Since I use my action to use the pike, and if I can, what I'd like to do is use my movement to take her, hold her, and I know it's half speed, but I want to try to get her away from this thing. I want to try to run, jump over the pit, and just get away from the center of the room.
So you can definitely lift her with your pike in hand or so. You can get her to the pit, kind of similarly like you're out of melee range on the edge of a rat moat in the fog. If you want to actually try to like leap over it, I think that's at least like athletics with disadvantage because you're carrying a person who's limp weight. It's a little bit dangerous to try that, but you can if you want to.
I'll do it. I mean, if anything, I'm prioritizing her. So if anything, I would like throw her if I know I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to be like, I'm going to get her over, but I'm going to try to get both of us over. So, okay. So athletics with disadvantage, you said? I have a +4.
Come on.
I have to check to see if I have a thing. Maybe I use my superiority dice. No, that's just for actions.
I will let you add a superiority die thing if you use your pike to kind of like pole vault in some way here. You make it into a fightery thing.
Yeah, I'll do that for sure. Oh, not good. Oh, thank God. Okay, so I rolled with disadvantage. I rolled a 7, but I have +4, so that's 11. And then I use my superiority dice, which is a D8, and I rolled an 8. So total is 19.
With the power of love, like you just like will yourself across and you manage to land both of you safely on the other side and kind of be up, still pike in hand with her in your arms, clear for the moment of these hazards and kind of like moving towards the door a little bit, but she's still unresponsive. And that'll take us to Tiburon's turn.
All right. You said the bear move is engaged with Randall, right?
The bear cast a spell on Randall. No, yeah, actually, since the bear cast a spell on Randall, it's real incapacitated. It was shrunk and frozen by Saeleas. So you know where it is. You can't actually... You're closest to it. You could probably kind of see where it is from where you are, but like it is in bad shape if you want to go in for the kill.
Got it.
What's the... with what you did to it, Saeleas, does it wake up if he attacks it?
It's incapacitated until the start of my turn.
All right.
That's what it says.
Have at it.
I'm going to go ahead and bring both hands up to about hip level and start forming a chromatic orb. And it's like, this time,
I got this.
It's going to be fire-based.
Okay.
I'm going to launch it at the little frozen bear. Not little, medium frozen bear.
You can do it, buddy.
You'll have advantage on that because it's incapacitated. If it's a spell attack, I think it is.
16.
Hit.
Yeah.
It's 3d8.
Whoa, 3d8? Are you sure?
I know my chromatic orb.
I'm a level 1 wizard.
Yeah, it might not be. That might be.
First level spell.
Yeah, it's
first level spell. It's 3d8.
It's a spell slot. You get something for that. Roll 3d8. Saeleas says he's your like tutor in chromatic orb lately. So
got it.
What he says goes.
Also, I just looked at the spell text, and that is what it says.
That's how Saeleas does things. He reads and then he communicates that knowledge.
He says
14 fire damage.
Ooh. You light it up and do a lot of damage. It smells real bad when you light this thing on fire. It doesn't react at all, but it's not quite dispatched. It looks real bad. It is still on fire. You have more turn to do. It looks pretty close to done.
Okay, and with my movement, I'm just gonna carefully position myself where I'm getting a little closer to the bear, but definitely away from the ledge of the pit that I was very, very close to falling into.
Well, so you're still hasted. So you've got a second action. You could do one attack with that.
Distance-wise, I could totally get to it in one move, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then we'll just do that. I'm going to go up there and try and smash him apart. Is a 14 going to hit him?
Yes.
Excellent. 15 slashing damage.
Describe your victory.
All right.
Woohoo!
So, one-handed, but Tiburon lifts up the sword into the air, brings it down with enormous force, as I guess he's sort of aiming it as if he were beheading this bear, which I assume would successfully beheaded and re-deaded a bear. Tiburon, as he does that, says, "We barely knew ye.
Nice.
So you are able to behead this small bear, which as it defeats it, actually like the spell roll wears off. So the small head that comes off grows into the big head. The whole body gets big, head and body, but it's dead. And like as this happens, it starts to dissolve back into this fog, which all of you are looking at. The three of you who have seen this fog effect before are very much like, what's happening? But it works differently this time because the bear turns into fog and all the fog in this room starts to swirl, and it is actually all drawn towards Keelani. And the light beam that she's no longer in goes out, which actually makes the chamber pretty dark. But there's enough light to see like all of this fog in the whole chamber, including the fog this bear is dissolving into, is drawn into Keelani, who in Oliver's arms with a gasp goes and is awake.
Keelani! I'll put her down. Oliver will put her down gently and just, Keelani, it's me, it's Oliver.
Oliver, what are you doing here? Zaxior, he's too dangerous. You have to get out of here.
I'm not leaving without you. We came to get you. I found some allies and just rest. You're no condition to fight. We're going to get you out of here.
No, it's too dangerous. He's defeated everyone. We have to escape. And she's starting
He
to.
was killed. He was killed. He's weakened. He is in an incorporeal state. If he's here,
Right, and we're from the future.
and these folks might be from the future. I haven't quite figured out
Sarsa
why.
takes out her mace and like it lights up and emits its little light. So
Nice.
she's just holding this lit mace and just like is smiling at this person that just woke up.
So you realize from her kind of like muttering and what you know of the battle that she was in, that she's thinking she's still in that battle, and she's just starting to come into reality that like she's somewhere else.
Keelani, months have passed. You've been gone. We thought you were dead, and I didn't believe it. I tracked you down. I tracked down where I thought Zaxior might be to this place. We're in the Feral Wood.
Oh.
We're not in Red Basin anymore.
I remember being here with him. Now that you say that, it was terrible. I've been here for. You came for me, Oliver. You came for me.
I did. I couldn't leave you. If there was a chance, I had to find you.
Thank you.
I had to find you. Even if it meant risking my own life. I had to find you. These fine people have helped me defeat... Wait, was the bear Zaxior? Do we think maybe he took the form of an undead bear?
Yes, that his form was drawn into the spell he cast. It was regrowing as that creature. It was terrible. He was using my soul to fuel him and keep him in this plane. It was thank you, Oliver. Thank you for coming for me. I always knew you would.
Say, I know you just came to, but just out of curiosity, have you seen a tiny little man with green skin who kind of looks like this?
She's real and maybe also from the future, is what you were saying?
She is, we believe so. They're not from where we're from.
Sorry, no, I haven't seen anything like that. But thank you so much for helping Oliver come here. I owe you everything.
You're welcome, madam.
Oliver will look up and just say, we have to get her out of here. We have to get out of here.
Wait, no, are we just leaving?
What else are we going to do?
Saeleas, we came here to find Gravely. Well, we didn't really come here on purpose, but there's a chance that Gravely might be somewhere nearby. We're not leaving until we look for him, damn it.
I don't know about your Gravely friend, but if you mentioned that he was taken in a similar fashion by a different evil wizard, perhaps if you find this wizard in your time or place, you know how to get him back. He's not gone. Keelani wasn't gone. Perhaps your friend is still out there somewhere with the form, the vessel that this person was trying to. He might be coming back in some way. If you can find out where your evil wizard is, then perhaps you can find your friend.
I thought maybe he was here. Sarsa kind of pouts and pulls out her flask and just kind of stops.
I suppose it makes sense that he wouldn't have also traveled 1,000 years into the past. He didn't go through the portal, but at least now we know how to get him back.
Keelani has fallen asleep out of exhaustion in Oliver's arms. She seems okay. You're able to kind of like make your way back through the cave if you choose. You're able to kind of like navigate your way out, walk around the pit you already went over, gingerly kind of sneak through. You're successfully able to sneak through the pixie layer.
Are all the rats and like undead creatures gone?
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, there's definitely an undead. There's some like regular rats around. But the undead pixies, as you get there, trying to figure out, like, I don't want to get stabbed by those guys again. They seem to be all gone. So the undeadness of this area seems to have lifted. And even when you walk outside into the light, there's kind of a sense of, like, it was definitely the, like, undead necrotic force of this of Zaxior's kind of reconstituting creature that was like rotting this part of the forest. And even though things are still rotted, like you don't have that same sense of like you were overwhelmed by fear first time you came here. That sense of like necrotic energy is lifted, even though the forest is still deteriorated. So you're able to kind of like sit down out there in the sun and rest and feel safe for a minute and talk.
So the rot seems to have lifted off of the forest. And there was nothing else in that room where we fought Zaxior. So we all just head out, just to recap.
It didn't seem like there was a chest or a switch or a key or a code or anything. Like, yeah, you had a pretty clear view once all the fog lifted. It kind of seemed like just a cave once that had happened. So,
right on.
Yeah, and out here, like, things are still rotted, but you can kind of tell from your clericness and arcanic ability that, like, the evil force that was causing the rot has lifted. Like, this forest will eventually heal.
I would imagine Oliver has, like, prepped a little bit for this mission and has a healing potion, and he'll give it to Keelani, try to revive her a little bit with strength.
Yeah, you do that, and she is invigorated. She's present. Like if you really wanted to talk to her, you could, but also she's needing to nap.
Yeah, I'll let her rest. I can't thank you enough. I owe you everything. I owe you a great debt.
And with that, you all disappear just as quickly as you arrived and find yourself back in the library. All of you are there looking as like torn up and ripped apart. I think Tiburon is especially like got badly necrotic damaged and some bad stuff's happened to each of you. So you like reappear in the library, kind of messed up. Branch is there. It's just been hanging out. One of the interns is there.
Hey, Timothy, they are right there.
In this kind of like big open sort of lobby chamber of the library. And there is also a figure there, a very old looking elf.
This old elf will look up. He takes his hood off. Grizzled, white hair pulled back. Elven ears sticks out. He's got kind of black leather. He's an older guy, but he's still kind of, thin and lithe and buff. And it's an much older Oliver. And he looks up and he says, "Well, it took you long enough.